everybody, welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that has a green screen in the background now. We're doing a thing, but hey, if it ever works that you want to put a thing behind me, I'm here for it. Today in the news, it looks like for the first time, AI is making its way into game dev that we know of. Earlier this week at GDC, Ubisoft announced a brand new AI tool they have created for their narrative team titled Ubisoft Ghostwriter. Created by Ubisoft LaForge, I assume Jordy's evil twin, Ubisoft Ghostwriter will be used to generate the first draft of barks from NPC, which are generic voice lines that you'll hear shouted from passersby when exploring open worlds. According to Ubisoft, this tool was created hand in hand with scriptwriters to create more realistic NPC interactions by generating variations on a piece of dialogue. See how our teams will use AI to handle repetitive tasks and free up time to work on other core game elements. And funnily enough, that kind of feels like the last episode of South Park I just watched. I think it's from the newest season about ChatGPT and kind of the inevitability of it all. I get it. I get what they're trying to do here. It's the NPC chatter that, let's be honest, both you and I and most people kind of run by and don't really pay attention to. It's like, oh, I'm selling beans. Yep, that's something. And I get it. I understand not wanting to devote resources to all of that. And, giving people more lines than just oh, I'm selling beans, right? I imagine if you're doing 500 NPC dialogues, after a while, your brain kind of becomes mush and you can't think of what to write. And so an AI generating additional dialogue based on that's the bean seller, maybe that can be pretty cool. But I feel like it must be entirely supplemental. I'm so worried about this that we are just one bad choice away from this game's entirely written by AI. Do you know that kid's book? If you give a mouse a cookie, it'll want a glass of milk and so on. That's kind of how it feels. If you give a AAA studio cost-effective AI that will write scripts for you, why would they pay writers when they can do it on the cheap and they have access to it? And it becomes more and more cost effective for them when you see they're willing to just fire people whenever the hell they feel like it to make a profit. And I hope we'll never get there, but this is Ubisoft we're talking about, so. In other news, it looks like Insomniac's Spider-Man 2's release window may have just been leaked. And of course it was by the Venom voice actor. In a now deleted tweet response, Tony Todd, who plays Venom in game, shared, "Looks like September, massive publicity coming in August. Commercials start dropping in August, so I'm told. Hold on to your and hold breath. Gonna be necessary." I love that he leaked not only the window, but also just the marketing plan as well. And back in December, the creative director confirmed that fall 2023 release window was what they were hoping to do in the PlayStation blog. So this leaked September release fits with that confirmed timeframe if the game isn't delayed. But the fun thing here on the newsy side of things is that it comes out, if this is true, at roughly the same time as Starfield. They'll be in direct competition, and sure, they're different games and different audiences, but I want to see how that goes. And while we're talking Microsoft, let's talk Redfall, because we've got a lot of news about it. Some reviews are coming in of people who have played, and apparently it's actually pretty good, and they're trying to work on making the always online no longer a thing. I don't know, rumors, we'll see, but there's actually some confirmed information that is just console wars, baby, because it looks like Microsoft had an active hand in stopping Redfall from releasing on PS5. In a recent interview with IGN France, Arcane Austin studio director Harvey Smith shared, "We were acquired by Microsoft, and it was a change with a capital C. They came in and they said, no PlayStation 5, we're focusing on Xbox, PC, and the Game Pass." And if you watch this show often, none of this should come as a surprise. Microsoft has been saying one thing the entire time, oh, we want to share, we want to be part of the gaming community. And at the same time also being don't release this on PlayStation. This isn't shocking at all. This is what regulators have been saying the entire time. It is obviously Microsoft's intentions when they get Activision Blizzard, even though Microsoft is what? No, we would never. I mean, it's business. It's business. Like, it's crazy to me that the business side of Microsoft is like, business, 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 but the PR side is like, we don't know what they're doing. And it's just been a trend. Back when Bethesda had officially joined Team Xbox, Phil Spencer had this to say about Bethesda titles on other platforms. So obviously, I can't sit here and say every Bethesda game is exclusive because we know that's not true. There's contractual obligations that we're going to see through, as we always do in every one of these instances. And granted, there's a big difference between plans for a PS5 release and contractually obligated PS5 release. But all this, we're gonna share stuff, and the PR spin, it's just talk. And they keep doing it. And they keep, like, talking bad about themselves. They're like, Microsoft sucks. We're terrible. We're not as good as PlayStation. That's why we need Activision. Am I the only one who thinks this is crazy? Please let me know, because I don't want to seem like I'm just constantly hammering Microsoft because, you know, Sony got its own issues, but it seems like in this case that it's just, I mean, like, so obvious what they're trying to do, and I feel like I have to call it for what it is. Anyway, that's it for the show. See you tomorrow for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.